tackling something today that, well, I think it's safe to say everyone gets tripped up by at some point. Those hidden costs, Like when you realize something's going to cost way more than you planned. And we're not talking about just like a couple of bucks here. Imagine you're running a long-term care facility.
Hmm.
The pressure's on,
Right.
you've got to provide great care, but then you also have to keep the whole operation afloat financially.
It's a balancing act for sure.
It really is. And unfortunately, in this world, we're talking thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. All it takes is a single oversight.
And you're right to bring up the financial risk because that's huge, but it's not even just the money itself.
No.
No, these hidden costs, they have a real human impact, especially with regulatory citations. We're talking about the residents, their families. These are vulnerable people trusting these facilities. So when a facility gets cited, that trust, it's broken.
And that's hard to rebuild. So we're diving deep, no pun intended, into this hidden costs series, specifically part 3, which focuses on citations. But here's where it gets really interesting, for me at least. We're going to explore how AI could actually hold the key to not just avoiding these financial, what did you call them, pitfalls, but maybe even using it to improve the care that residents are getting.
I think that's what's so fascinating about this whole area. You've got technology and caregiving, two things that people don't always think of together. What's exciting about AI is its potential. It's not just about the numbers. It can make a real tangible difference in a resident's life.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, how can AI have that direct impact? How does that play out for someone who's living in one of these facilities?
So picture this. You have a resident, and maybe they've been slowly losing weight. An AI system that's monitoring their food intake, it could pick up on that pattern.
Oh, wow, like before a person would?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can flag that for the caregivers. And what happens? Early intervention. You can prevent malnutrition, all the complications that come with it. It's a win-win. The resident avoids discomfort, potential suffering even, and the facility, well, they avoid a potential citation for not recognizing that a resident's needs were changing.
It's like having an extra set of eyes, but these eyes are powered by data.
Precisely.
They're probably a lot more reliable than my eyes, to be honest.
Well, and it's not even just about reacting after the fact. It's about using AI to be proactive.
Okay, now we're talking solutions. I like it. So how does that work? How do we get to that point?
This article, it breaks it down into 3 main areas where AI can make a real difference. I see it almost like a journey as we go through them. But we'll start with proactive compliance.
All right, lead the way. I'm ready for this journey.
So think of AI as this tireless watchdog, always in the background, scanning the facility's operations.
For anything suspicious.
Exactly. Looking for any issues. But here's the key. Before they even become problems. It's like having this constant audit happening. But it's not just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's looking at everything that affects how well the residents are doing.
So it's less about catching mistakes and more about stopping them before they even happen. I can see how that would be huge for a facility. So instead of just like someone going through a stack of papers, this AI is smart enough to actually look at the content of those notes and flag potential problems. That's incredible.
Think about a resident's progress notes, for example. The AI wouldn't just be looking for those like blatant red flags. It would be looking for subtle changes too. Things like how well a resident is managing their activities of daily living, like eating, dressing themselves, bathing.
Yeah, those basic everyday things.
Exactly. If the AI spots even a slight shift in those ADLs, it could flag it. It could say, hey, this might be something to look into. And the best part is, it's all happening before it becomes a major issue.
So it's all about early intervention, catching those warning signs early. I like it. But proactive compliance, that's only one piece of the puzzle. What's another area where AI can really shake things up in long-term care?
Let's talk about staff training. It's something that every facility has to do, but let's be real, it can be kind of a drag.
Yeah, I'm picturing those mandatory online modules. Click through, try to stay awake.
You got it. Long-term care training, it often focuses on regulations and compliance procedures. Important stuff, but not exactly the most exciting way to spend an afternoon.
Definitely not.
But with AI, we can actually make training personalized, even engaging.
Okay, now that I've got it here.
Think about interactive scenarios where staff members, they get to actually practice responding to different resident needs. And here's the kicker. They get real-time feedback from an AI coach as they're going through it.
Hold on, so it's like having your own personal training guru.
That's the idea. It's all about giving staff the tools and the confidence to handle whatever comes their way. And it's much more effective than just sitting through a lecture.
It's learning by doing, but in a safe environment where you can make mistakes and learn from them. That's brilliant.
And the best part, the article gives this great example. Let's see a staff member. They find themselves in a tricky situation with a resident. Maybe the resident is agitated or confused, and the staff member isn't sure how to respond. Instead of feeling stuck, they can use AI chat to talk through the situation right then and there, getting advice from this AI coach.
So they have a resource, a backup, right when they need it most.
Exactly. It's like having a compliance expert on speed dial, but way more personalized. And because of that, staff feel empowered to make better decisions in the moment, which ultimately means better care for the residents.
That's a win for everyone involved. So we've talked about AI helping facilities stay ahead of potential problems with proactive compliance and transforming staff training. What was that third area where AI is making a difference?
Ah, yes. This one's all about staying ahead of the curve, keeping up with the ever-changing world of regulations.
And I'm guessing that's no easy feat.
You're telling me new regulations pop up all the time, guidelines get updated. It's a lot to keep track of.
I bet. I'd probably just give up and hope for the best.
Well, luckily, AI doesn't give up that easily. AI can track all of those changes for you. It understands how those changes impact a facility's protocols. And here's the best part. It can even automatically update those protocols to make sure everything stays compliant.
So it's like having a personal assistant who's obsessed with regulations. No more late night scrambling to figure out the latest guidelines.
Precisely. AI takes care of all that, so staff can focus on what really matters, the residents.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's not just long-term care, right? This whole idea of using technology to stay on top of regulations, it's becoming more and more common in all sorts of industries.
Absolutely. We're seeing it in healthcare, finance, even manufacturing. It's all about using AI to streamline these complex processes. But, we've been talking a lot about how AI can benefit facilities, but what about the residents themselves? How does all of this technology directly impact their day-to-day lives?
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. We've been diving deep into how AI can help long-term care facilities stay on top of regulations and avoid those hefty fines, but it seems like it goes way beyond just the bottom line.
You're absolutely right. At the end of the day, the real focus here is the residents. It's about using these advancements to enhance their lives, not detract from them.
Exactly. We've talked about how AI can help with things like proactive care and personalized staff training, but what does this actually look like for the residents themselves? Can you paint me a picture?
Absolutely. Imagine a resident who loves to stay active and social. An AI system could analyze their activity patterns and preferences, then suggest activities or social gatherings that align with their interests. Maybe it connects them with other residents who share similar hobbies, or even suggests new activities they might enjoy based on their past engagement.
So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach to activities, residents are getting personalized recommendations tailored to their interests.
That's fantastic. It reminds me of how streaming services suggest movies or music, but in this case, it's about enriching lives and fostering connections.
That's a great analogy. And it highlights how this technology can be used to combat loneliness and isolation, which are real concerns for many seniors, especially those living in care facilities.
It's amazing to think how AI can help create a more engaging and stimulating environment for residents. It's not just about basic care anymore. It's about promoting well-being and a sense of purpose. Exactly. And let's not forget the peace of mind it can bring to families. Knowing that AI is helping to ensure their loved ones' needs are met, that potential issues are being caught early on, that can be invaluable.
Absolutely. This has been such a thought-provoking deep dive. We've explored the challenges of hidden costs in long-term care, but what's really stuck with me is the potential of AI to revolutionize the industry, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a human-centered one.
And that's the key takeaway here. AI isn't meant to replace human connection and care, but to enhance it. It's about empowering caregivers, improving resident well-being, and creating a more sustainable future for long-term care.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This Hidden Costs series has been incredibly insightful, and I can't wait to see what other hidden costs they uncover in future installments.
I'm looking forward to it too. It's clear that the future of long-term care will be shaped by technology, and it's up to us to ensure that technology is used responsibly and ethically to benefit those who need it most.
Well said. And for our listeners, if you're interested in learning more about how AI is changing the landscape of long-term care, be sure to check out the Hidden Costs series. You'll find a wealth of information and insights that can help you navigate this evolving landscape. Until next time, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.